Good afternoon, everybody, and how are we all today? It's just started raining here and it's gone really dark, so I've actually had to put the light on, which I'm not very impressed about. Anyway, I'm here for day 2 on our series of not Meet the Maker, on our introductions to chakras. And today we're going to be looking at the sacral and the solar plexus chakra. But before we move on, just a reminder, if you're watching live, give StreamYard permission to show your name, otherwise it will just come up as Facebook viewer in the comments. Do ask any questions. If you want to, you can come on live with me. If you're watching on replay, don't forget hashtag replay, hashtag sorry I missed you. So somebody's popped on to join me, I think, so do say hi so we know who's there, and I'm going to get started. I thought before I started talking about the chakras again, following on from yesterday, I would show you a few bits and pieces. So first of all, here I have, remember I was talking about a crystal bed. So this is my amethyst one, and what I sometimes do is, if I've got something that just quickly needs charging, I will pop it on the top like that. And obviously you can do smaller crystals as well, just whatever fits on there. And also having amethyst out in the room just sends out lots of lovely healing anyway. And this is what a crystal sphere looks like. So this one is quartz. As you can see, it's got lots of inclusions in there, and that's sort of other bits growing in there, or gaps or whatever. It's very unusual to get one that's completely clear. If I got a completely clear one, I would be wondering about its origin. Then I was also talking about tumble stones. So these are just small stones that have been sort of tumbled, so they're all actually smooth and polished. And then here I've got some raw crystal. So it is just in its rough form. And finally, this one hasn't actually got the dimple in it, but this is what a thumbstone would be like. So fairly flat, and it would have a dimple in it, so you can just sort of, they are sometimes called worry stones as well. Hi Lynn, thanks for popping on. Do pop all your questions in as we go along. Lovely to have you. So right, what shall we do first? I think I'll also show you a few crystals relating to yesterday. Hi Claire, thanks for joining us. A few crystals I mentioned yesterday before we go on and talk about these next 2 chakras. So that's my little piece of snowflake obsidian that I use in healing. It's a little tumbled one, and if I'm using a healing, or popping it on the body for meditation or whatever, that is my little one, as opposed to, you all saw my huge great one yesterday. Then I've also got this one. It's actually got something in the back of it, which you often get, because stones are, they're natural, you just get what comes with them. I think that one is obsidian. It's actually a bit smudgy. That one is actually obsidian. So can you see it's got a very dark, deep black, very glossy, instead of having the little snowflakes through. Then I have what's that one? That's a black tourmaline, so again just black and shiny. And then a red one, because remember we talked yesterday about red stones could also work on the base or the root chakra. And so I've also got a red jasper. So moving on to today, we're going to talk about the next two chakras up. So this is your orange and your yellow one. So first of all, you've got your sacral chakra, which is about 2 inches below your tummy button, and this really is about emotions, our creativity, our sexual energy, and it sort of controls your sense of abundance, your well-being, your pleasure and sexuality type thing. And it's thinking about always honouring others but not before myself. So that is something I think a lot of us forget to do, is actually basically put our own oxygen on first. So the stones for that, and this is where there are some of my real favourites here. So we've got a carnelian, so which, whoops, wrong way, which is a sort of bright orangey colour. So that is really good. That is actually also, I believe, birthstone for July, which is why I love it so much. Then we've got things like that, I don't know if you can see it, hand higher that way. That's only a teeny tiny one, but that is a small piece of amber. I hold it up to the light, you might be able to see that it's actually quite transparent, and it's actually got quite a different feel to it of a lot of the others. It almost feels, because it's a resin rather than a stone, it has got that different feel. Then this one is, this one's really interesting actually. It's a jasper. I cannot remember which one. I think it might be a snakeskin jasper. So if you look at that one, can you see, again the light's not great in here, that it is actually textured. It has actually got a textured surface, but it's that sort of deep orangey brown again. Then another one of my favorites, this is tiger iron, which is very shiny, and you can see those bands really catch the light. But tiger's eye, which is another brown one and is banded again, is also for the sacral chakra. So that is about sort of making sure you're balanced, you're feeling well, or your pleasure centers are working, and you're just in that sense of abundance. Now, the next one up is your solar plexus chakra. So that's that one right in the core of us, and it's, you know, really down to, you know, the core of who we are, what we think, how confident and in control of our life we might feel. If you've got a blockage in your sacral chakras, oh yes, your Amber, your daughter Lynn, yeah, how lovely. You're likely to sort of feel shame and self-doubt. If you get sort of butterflies or that sick feeling in your stomach, that's in your sacral chakra. So that really, really is at the core of your being. And some of the stones for that, for your solar plexus, let me just check one, because I know this is one that everybody is going to be asking me about. And I just want to check, because because I've been doing it for a while, I often swap my crystals around, and although they generally work on specific things, I often just go by sort of intent. Well, I want this one to do this for me today, or no, something's drawing me to put that one there or to use that one. So this is the one, and oh look, I've got lots of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, is citrine. So citrine works on both your sacral and your solar plexus chakra. It's as you can see, it's yellowy with brown bits in it. It's very much working on pleasure, strength, protection, moderation, so that's thinking about balance, spiritual growth, digestion. But this is one of your wealth or abundance stones. So if you've got one of those, pop it in your wallet. And you can see I've also, with this one, got a rough piece of citrine in this one, so you can see how it's come out of the rock. Whoops. And it's got the different colours going through it. And my other favourite for the solar plexus is the calcite. Now this one, it is quite a soft stone. It's actually matte, it's not glossy like some of the other ones. Absolutely clear. Citrine in your purse, that's the right place for it. But this one is just, it's really soft and smooth. It's not cold, it's warmer than some of the other stones. And I find when I'm using it, I actually find this one quite a gentle stone to use. You know, I talked yesterday about sometimes some stones are just too much for me sometimes, like my huge chunk of obsidian there. If you're feeling a bit sort of under the weather and want to sort of give yourself a bit of a crystal hug, use one of these. Okay, Lynn, does it make a difference to the purpose if they're rough or smooth, or just how you connect and focus with it? Yes and no. So these and these, so just what's called tumble stones and your rough stones. Nope, whatever you are most comfortable with. The flatter ones tend to be used more as worry stones or thumb stones. Then, as I said, the beds, you wouldn't really want to plonk that on you. That is just pretty and absorbs the energy. So then when you've got a sphere like mine, and on camera it looks like it needs washing, but it really doesn't. That's for sort of more all-round energy, and you'd use that more for sort of scrying and going really deep. Then if I just delve down here out of sight, I have, if I can find them, here we go, here's a few more. Few different shapes. So we have things like, these are crystal points. So can you see that they've got the crystal one end? These are particularly good for if you want to do crystal grids, because that point gives you that focus for the energy. And I did have some smaller ones, but I think they may be upstairs. Where? There they are. Then you have, I've got a set of smaller crystal points like these, and again they have got the single point, and these are the ones that I would use if I was doing a hand massage with a crystal. That is what I would actually use. So actually circular, and so the point's in, so it's actually settling the energy in that central sub chakra, and then dotting up to your thumb. If you've ever had reflexology, you also have reflex points and pressure points on your hands, the same as you do with your feet, and you can actually use them for, you can crystal heal in the same way. And depending on what reaction you get somewhere, you may actually find that it sort of makes you think more about, oh, actually, that's showing up something here. So the sort of ends of your fingers tend to be sort of headaches and things like that. So if you do a crystal massage on your hands, you can have it done on you, or you can actually do it on yourself, and you get some tenderness, say, on the ends of your fingers. That makes you think, okay, maybe I need something for my head, and then you would use or carry a different crystal. So in terms of the rough and the smooth, no, it doesn't make a difference. But when you get to pointed things, that does make a difference. And then things like spheres, and anything with a point, that is actually sort of moving the energy in a direction. Unfortunately, I haven't got my wand to hand. I'll try and remember to bring that one along tomorrow, because it's got the point at one end for sort of directing, and then the other end is blunt. So what I tend to do with that one is I will balance the chakra by sort of stirring the energy in, and then use the other end to stir the bad energy back out. But I would definitely say, definitely for myself as well, my solar plexus and my sacral chakra are the ones that are usually out of kilter when I go and have a healing treatment. And also my sacral chakra, I think it is, has been better since I had my gallbladder out. Before I had my gallbladder out, every time I had a massage, the stones felt really heavy. There was tenderness, you know, it was actually very, very out of balance. And since I've had it out, actually, it's really, you know, settled down and doesn't need a lot doing to it. So that's obviously a sign that stuff was going on there. And as I said yesterday, it's about what you can feel for yourself, and about things at the same working at the same vibrations. So has anybody got any more questions? I know we talked yesterday, we went into quite a lot of depth about cleansing and cleaning crystals and just general stuff. Is there anything on that you want to pick back up on? Or Claire, anything that you might have missed yesterday? No. Oh, no, no questions from you. Okay. Do you tend to use crystals, Claire? How long have I been working with crystals? On and off for about 10 years. So sometimes you've got 4 on your desk. Yeah. So I did my training back in about 2010, and then I did a lot of stuff with it for a while, and then I left it for a while, and it's one of those things that I sort of pick up and put down um, for different moods, emotions, what things I'm going through. But I don't know if you've read the post I popped in the announcements earlier. The reason I started making crystal jewelry was, one, because I love crystals, but also I used to do let me drop something in my bra today. I need some of this, so I'll just stick this crystal in my bra. And then when people were sort of saying, coming up to me and saying, Sharon, I think I found your crystal on the stairs, or I lost a couple, I decided, well, what other ways could I keep these with me? And that is where I started making sort of bracelets. The tree of life pendants are quite new. I've also done the little wire cages that you can just change the stone that's in it, so just swap the stone out on a pendant. So yes. And Claire, with your 5, it may be, and this is why I don't always have all my crystals to hand, I let my crystals do their own thing, and I find that sometimes they disappear for months and months on end, and I'll be like, where's that gone? Where did I last have it? Can't find it. And then all of a sudden, usually when I need that particular crystal, it just reappears somewhere. So crystals choose you just as much as you choose them. And there seems to be that, right, this is what you need now. But if you've ever tried crystal healing, the effects that you can have on crystals sometime is incredible. I mean, I can completely discolor a piece of quartz during a meditation and a healing session. So have you ever had any crystal healing? Have you got any crystal jewelry? Are there any simple healing techniques you'd like to see? Or are there any things that you think, oh, I wonder if there's a crystal that would help me with that? Because we all have a few of our favourites, and there may be a reason why that is a favourite. Obviously, Lynn, with the amber to represent sardonyx for courage, yes. That's a red one, isn't it? Is that the red one? I think that might be a Jasper sardonyx. Tiger's eye, love it. Orange calcite, love it. And then a clear one. Was it quartz? Is it like that, Claire? Just completely clear? Yeah. Rub it when you're doing your workshops. Yeah, that is probably quartz then, which is good for lots and lots of different things. It's actually called the master crystal. So what it does is it actually amplifies the effects of other crystals, which is why you often find it in the sort of in points to do different things. But if you put it with another crystal, so say if you put it with put it with the citrine in your purse, you may find that it sort of magnifies that and things become more abundant for you. And remember, it's also about what you think of as abundance, because abundance isn't always about wealth. Lynn, total newbie, made some crystal trees before, love the look of it, and I love playing with wire. Okay. That's good. Now I think for you, Lynn, it's some of the stuff, and this is just from what I know of you, some of the stuff that we're talking about later in the week, you'll probably find helpful. Claire, now I know that you have that stuff on your desk. It probably explains now when you're doing a live why you are so calm and grounded and in control and know what you're doing. Do you feel it makes a difference to you? Well, I'm just, yeah, it does. It does. And as I said, now I know you use crystals. Actually, I can see that explains your sort of, you know, why you are so calm. An expanded word, what is it? Oh, it's sardonyx is another, it's another type of, it is another type of, it's a quartz, not a jasper. When are your birthstone? When are your, what month are your birthdays in? Because there's also different gemstones are sort of more connected to different months or even different birthstones. Not birthstones, astrology signs. So, for example, I'm a Leo, so tiger's eye, yeah, pyrite, yeah, carnelian, yeah, hematite, yes, so that's me. December, so gemstones for December, crystals for each month. Claire's May, so for December, I think turquoise is going to be one of yours, Claire, and you're Sagittarius, Facebook user. Sorry, Lynn. Yes, Lynn. December, Sagittarius, so it will be things like citrine. And Claire, May is agates. I cannot remember them all. May birthstones. Let's have a look at those. Okay, so emerald, obviously that's the traditional one. Chrysoprase, that's about happiness and joy. Agate, lots of different forms of that. Carnelian, which is the one that I was fiddling with just now, that's one of mine as well. And sapphire. So yes, really interesting stuff. Well, unless you've got any more questions for me, then I'm going to leave it at this today. What I will do over the coming weeks is pop some stuff into guides, and I'll probably pop the videos up into guides as well, so you can come back and refresh it. This is just very much an introductory level at the moment. Once we've gone through the basics, then we will start to delve deeper about things you can do just yourself with crystals. So like wearing them? How would you meditate with a crystal? How would you journal with a crystal? I think that one will probably appeal very much to Claire. How to, and I mean, if you'd like to, if you want to, we can go into things like how to do a hand massage with the little pointed crystals, but also if there's anything that you particularly suffer with, crystals to help that. So for example, I'm a migraine sufferer, and there's a crystal called rhodochrosite. It's sort of a pink speckledy crystal, and if I've got a migraine and I put that just at the back of my neck, just there, it really helps relieve migraines. So that one is really good. So do pop in the comments anything else you'd like to know. Thank you for joining me, and I hope I will see some of you again tomorrow. Bye for now.